Hello everyone. The last time we talked about statistics, we focused on collecting data. So we talked about how to get a proper sample from your population so that it represents the entire population. Now we're looking at what do you do with the data once you have it. We're going to be analyzing numerical data. And so part of that is what we're going to talk about in this lesson, which is measures of central tendency. So measures of central tendency are values that the set of data cluster around. They're towards the center of the data. And you've seen these before. There's the mean, there's the mode, and there's the median. The mean is just the average. The mode is the most commonly occurring piece of data in the set, and the median is the very middle value in the whole set when they're arranged in order from lowest to highest. So each of these measures tells you approximately where the middle of the data is and where most of the values lie. So I'm going to work through some examples of how to calculate each of these different measures of central tendency. So here's my first example. Calculate the mean, median, and mode for the following set of data. So here's my list of numbers. I'm not told what they represent. Maybe they're marks in a class. I have 13 different values in this list. They're not arranged in order, so that's actually where I'm going to start. I always make sure that my list of numbers is in order from lowest to highest. So I'm going to take a minute and do that. So here it is, my list in order from lowest to highest. Some things you want to definitely make sure you're doing is making sure that you have all of the numbers. So it's a good idea to count the numbers in your new list and compare it to the number of values in your old list. Make sure they're the same and just double check that you've got all the numbers. Once I have all the numbers, now I can start doing my calculations. So I'm going to start with the mean. The mean is just the average, so I need to take the sum of all the numbers in my list and divide by the number of values in my list. So I already counted these. There's 13 numbers in my list, so I have to add them all up, get my sum, and divide by 13. So when I add all these numbers together, I get 969, and I divide that by 13, I get 74.54. I'll just round it to 74.5. So that's my mean right there. Next, I'm going to calculate the median. The median is the middle value in the list. So here I have 13 values in my list. The middle one is going to be right here so that I have 6 values on either side of it. The median cuts my list in half so that it's symmetrical on either side. The last one I'm going to look at is the mode, and the mode is the most commonly occurring value in the set of data. So that ends up being 76. Because 76 occurs twice in my list, all the other values only occur once. So the mode is 76. Let's do the next example. Calculate the mean, median, and mode for the following heights in centimeters of grade 11 students. So here I have a list of heights. I'm going to do the same method that I did in the previous example. First, I'm going to order my list from lowest to highest. Once I've done that, now I can start my calculations. So again, I'm going to start with the mean, the average. So I'll get the sum and divide it by the number of items. I have 10 numbers in my list. So I take the sum, I divide by 10, and I get the mean of 171.8 centimeters. Now let's look at the median. That's the middle number of our list. A lot of people will make this mistake. They will say, well, there's 10 numbers in the list, so divide that by 2, that's 5. That means the median is the 5th number in the list, which would be this one here. A lot of people will do that, and that's wrong. So don't do that. Remember, the median is the exact middle. It'll be cutting the list in half so that it's symmetrical on either side. It's actually right in here. Now I have 5 values on either side of that line. So that line represents where the median is. It's in between 172 and 173. So the median is actually 172.5. It works out this time that it's just the 0.5, because this is 172, this is 173, but whatever these values are, you just find the average of those two numbers on either side of your line. So for us, our median is 172.5. The next thing I'm supposed to find is the mode, the most occurring value. So if you look at your list, which number occurs the most? Well, they all occur only once. So we would say there's no mode. So you can have one mode, you can have no mode, or you can have 2 modes, 3 modes. It's whatever is occurring the most. Let's say we had 3 different values that all occurred twice, and that's the most occurring. Then you would have 3 different modes. You would write all of them as answers. But in this case, we don't have any numbers that repeat, so we have no mode. For this next example, it's basically the same as the previous 2 examples, except the data is displayed in a different way. So again, we're going to calculate the mean, median, and mode for the following list of salaries at a manufacturing company. So here we have salaries and the number of employees that get each of those salaries. So here we have 8 employees get a salary of $40,000, 2 employees get $45,000, 2 employees get $53,000, and 1 employee gets $65,000 as their salary. So when we look at this value, I'm told how many times these salaries occur. So the easiest thing to find right now is actually the mode. I can find the most occurring value just by looking at this chart. The most occurring value is $40,000. So the mode is $40,000. Next, I'm going to calculate the median, and a lot of people run into trouble with the median here because they just look at these numbers and they think, okay, well, the middle number would be between 45,000 and 53,000, and then they go about it that way. But remember, this is not the list of values. There's 8 of these, there's only 2 of these, and then 2 of these, and then 1 of these. So when we write our list, it's going to look more like this. Now, to save space, instead of writing 40,000, I just wrote 40, etc. So to find the median, I have to count how many numbers are in my list and make sure that the median is cutting the list in half exactly. So it ends up being 40. So $40,000 is the median salary of all these employees. So what does that mean? Well, it means that half of the employees get less than $40,000 and half of the employees get more than $40,000. Next, we'll calculate the mean. Again, we're going to take the sum of all our values and then divide by 13 because we have 13 values in our list. Now you could do 40,000 plus 40,000 plus 40,000 plus 40,000 plus 40,000, etc. Just add them all up like that. Or you could simplify it a little bit so that you just have 8 times 40,000 plus 2 times 45,000 plus 2 times 53,000 plus 65,000. So you can kind of shorten it up there. Any way you do it, the sum is going to be 581,000. Divide that by 13. The mean salary is $44,692.30. Now I also have this question down at the bottom. Which measure best represents the data in this case? So I've got all these salaries. I have a mode of 40,000, a median of 40,000, and a mean of $44,692.30. So which of those values best represents the salaries of the workers at this company? Well, you could kind of make an argument for any of them. You could say the mode best represents this set of data because most people make $40,000, so it best represents what most people make. at the company. You could say the median best represents the salaries at this company because it's the exact middle of what all the employees are getting. Half of them are getting lower, half of them are getting higher. Now, I would say this is not as good as the mode because the median is the lowest value as well. So it doesn't really show that there are some employees that make higher, and it doesn't show that most employees are making that number. The mean is the average, so you could make an argument for that. Most employees make $40,000, but the mean is larger, so it shows that there are some people that are making more than that. So this type of question is an opinion question. If I give you a question like that on a quiz, then I will expect you to pick one of the measurements and then tell me why you chose that one. And as long as your reasoning makes sense, then you're good to go.